Oh, did they change things in the update so we can hang off of that? I just realized that. That is a huge help. Is that what's going on here? Oh, look at that. I just now realized that that's what was happening here. Amazing. And then we can just get underneath it and do that. Oh, I love it. Welcome back, everybody, to Star Rupture. I'm the Bearded OG, and in this episode, we are going to set up glass and synthetic silicon production, and maybe one other thing too. I can't remember, but those two for especially. So I am at the second factory, I guess to call it, at the moment here, and I have finished running the rest of the rails all the way to the end of the line off camera. One thing we're going to do, just for the hell of it, though, is we're going to switch our character, because we've been using the same character since we started. So why don't we go, let's play Samuel for a while. There we go. We are now Samuel. That is like just too easy. They should have some kind of an animation and, you know, a little side clip or something that plays showing you switching bodies or something, but anyway. All right, so let's see. I've got building materials in here. We got some food. I got a whole bunch of ammo, which we don't really need to take that much ammo with us. So I think what I'll do is let's just have like 2 stacks. There was we do have a couple of geoscanners that we need to open up. I'm not sure if we'll get to that today, but maybe I'll keep the, yeah, what the hell, let's keep that ammo with us just in case we do actually need it. I made one small change here at this factory. I just straightened up that zip line that I had going out there, and then did a short little section here where it's angled, just because I like things to be straight and not angled as much as possible. Anyway, let's go ahead and head on over here and get started with this build. Yeah, we do need to do that geoscanner up there. I mean, I don't really need to do it, but we could do it. Especially in not super critical in this area, because why did that just stop me? That's never stopped me before. That's concerning. What the hell? All right. There has been an update on the game since the last time I played. It's been several days actually since I recorded last. And whatever they did in that update apparently now has fucked this up. I mean, it's not that that's going to be difficult to fix. We just need to raise this up a little bit, but it is going to... it's kind of mess things up a little bit. Whoa! There we go. Get out of here. Got a little bit of infection. One of the things they fixed in that update, by the way, thank God they fixed it, is finally the music slider. Because that thing was always giving me a fucking ulcer. Audio. So yeah, now the music slider actually works the way it's supposed to. We can maybe turn it up a little bit. Okay, so anyway, to fix this, I guess we're gonna need to raise this up a little bit. Let's get up in the air. Okay. Oh, you know what? You know what just occurred to me? Maybe this isn't working now because Samuel is taller than Maeve. Is that really it? Oh, that's funny if that's what it actually is. Because why would an update change that, you know? Oh my god, that's funny. Okay. That you'd think that wouldn't matter, but that's the thing that makes sense, because he's more than likely taller than Maeve is, right? Oh, wow. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and take this out, and we'll get the Oh my god, that is hilarious that that's the cause. I mean, I don't know that, but I'm assuming it seems to make sense to me. Okay, let's raise that up one thing. And, yeah, we need to test this. Well, we just went up this one, so we were okay here. But we'll test it all the way back up the cliff, too, to make sure that we don't run into this in other spots as well. I think this was the tightest spot, though. Yeah, okay. But like I said, we'll just double check it because we get really close to the ground right there, too. So yeah, I went ahead and ran the line, as you can see, all the way down to the end. So we're good to go there. And so we're going to tap into that helium deposit there. We have everything else already on the bus that we need. There is also, however, there is a calcium deposit right over the hill, just right there where my reticle is, on the other side of that geoscanner, that we could also use too, you know, if we need to. Look at all those bugs down there, little fuckers. And then of course we have titanium here, including a pristine deposit. So, I guess what the plan will be is we'll put the platform for this right in this area because we have plenty of, you know, room for that. And then we'll just pull directly from... Yeah, we'll pull directly from this helium here. And then probably also set it up to where if we have excess, we can put the helium on the line. The thing is, though, is there's another nice sizable helium, I think there's 3 of them right on the other side of that ridge over there too, so we have helium pretty close by in both of those locations. Alright, those bugs haven't aggroed, but somewhere else a bug has. Yeah, I don't know where I
should eat something.
I don't know where the other one is.
Delicious.
Let's take a couple of those. We're gonna have to deal with these guys anyways, so let's take them out. I want the spitters first. God, I can't shoot today. Spitter right here.
Reloading.
Got him. Okay. We must be too high up for them to be able to jump up here, which is nice. Only problem now is I can't see any of them because they're all probably down at the base. Make it over a little bit more, and come on, stick your nose out. There you go.
Changing mags.
I mean, ideally you want to hit him in the eyeballs, but in this case we hit him wherever we can. Here we go. Whew. That floated all the way up here. That's funny. Okay, that takes care of it. So yeah, my thought is that we utilize this space here to build the factories. Okay, so that being the case, why don't we set up a temporary zip line over there? Maybe it'll be temporary, maybe we'll keep it forever, I don't know. We'll put it right here. Get up a little higher so I can see what I'm doing here. Oh, is that not gonna support that? Okay, I guess we can do it there. And then we'll see if we can run over to here. That should work. Whoops. Okay. Okay, so first order of business is to get the extractors down. And cannot build... Oh, right, we need to do a core. Of course, we need to do a core. Let's do that next. Alright, so we're going to want the core to be able to cover that area plus, you know, the area we want to build in plus, you know, make sure it gets the... Oh, actually, hold on. Those deposits are way over that way, aren't they? If we want to tap into them, which we do. So that means we probably want the core to be more over here-ish. It needs to come back this way a little bit. I'm just going to go back to here because it's very unlikely I'm going to build anything on the south side of the bus anyway. And well, here, let's test this now and see if this will now actually work. Yep, it does. Okay. I'm not planning on using that right now, but you know, for future, right? So that's probably going to be the best placement of the core. I'm thinking.
Interesting plant.
Got a bunch
Good
of these
stuff.
root thingamadoodles, serpent roots. They grow down here, which we're going to probably mess with their spawn, but it's okay. We can get them in other places too. Might as well pick these, though. For the moment, let's put down a habitat. This is not necessarily going to be where the habitat will stay. I just want something down, you know, for star rupture, so we don't have to run all the way back when that happens. Supposedly they also fixed the issue where we were having, you know, the viewports were staying behind after you took the habitat back down. And, okay. While we're here, let's just build an analyzing station so we can get rid of these things.
Fascinating.
But again, this probably is not going to be where that's going to stay permanently, so that's just there to give us a shelter for the moment. Let's go back now and get the helium extractors down first, and then we're going to need to, you know, build out a platform. One thing I might do here is build the platform lower, excuse me, lower to the ground, just so I'm not fighting, having to keep everything so damn high and use extra materials. Yeah, I think we will probably do that for this factory here. All right, let's turn you this way and you that way. And then we're going to need to run out and over this way. But I think, you know, since we're just extracting the helium straight up and using it without having to process it first, we might as well keep the... Oh, there's a body right there. Might as well keep these, or put the storage depots up here. Can I get up this way? I think so, yeah. Increases firearm swap speed, useless. Well, it's not useless, but it's just, I've never been impressed with that one. Okay, so let's get a platform going up here that clears the highest rock outcropping, which is probably this one here, just by eyeballing things. Yeah, so that should be good. Okay, so for getting our zip line over here, in a straight fashion. I guess I should qualify what I mean by that. Well, here, let's not worry about that right now. Let's get the storage depots in place first, and we need to get some power over here too. What I'll probably do is I will put these on the line. You know, because might as well. And do we want to go... Well, have I learned the big storage depots yet? I don't think I have. I have the ability to learn them. But they're going to use a lot more power, too, is the thing. So I think let's just go with the normals for now. We can always upgrade them later if we need to. That one doesn't quite line up right, and it'll have to do. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll put in We'll put in 8 per extractor for now. And then I want to have a border here. Maybe even a double border just to make things look consistent. And then we want to bring down to here. We need to bring that up one. All right, yeah. Let's also put a support here. And one there. And then over here we want to also put a double tiled border. Let's leave that alone for the moment. I think, yeah, let's run the zip line over on this side. And if we keep it at this level, it's gonna... Okay. I might change that up later, but let's just do that for now. It's still embedded into the ground there, so...
Rupture activity detected.
All right.
I recommend finding a safe place.
I'll bring you guys back after the rupture. So, for the inputs, let's go ahead and put a multi-rail down here. That's not going to line up perfectly, but that shouldn't be a problem. So we'll put one there, and we'll put one here. Grab this rail, go in there. And then I think what we'll do is... why don't we put you there and you there? And if I'm going to do it that way, actually, I think I'd rather move this over a little bit. Just so it's a little more evenly spaced. Okay, and then we will go from here to here, here to here. There to there. And these can also go over this way. Okay, so these two then will be used to output to what we build down here. And okay, and then let's move you over here. Making this up as I go, as always. Well, not always, but in this particular instance I am. Okay. I think I'm going to do something a little different here. Let's take this back up. Let's actually put this here. And then you can go there, and you can go here. And then this will output down to there. And we'll do something similar over here. Except for this one. I think what we'll do is we'll put that there. And then if I go out to there and I go to here, and I bring this around to here, then this can return everything to the bus from both sets of storage. But the thing is we also are going to be pulling from there, so I want everything to initially flow this direction, but then also be pullable back around to go out this way. And likewise, everything coming off of this side can be pullable to go that way as well as that way. Is that the absolute most efficient way to do it? Probably not. It's the way we're going to do it, at least for now, unless I come up with a better solution or you guys have some ideas for me on that. And then I don't think this is really absolutely necessary, but we'll do it anyway. All right. Now, if we connect our... if we connect to the bus, then we get the power over here. So let's do that next. And also, I want to... let's do this here. And, yeah, you know what? Just let's do a whole row of those. See, if we're coming, if this is the ramp up here, then we can just put a ladder here, I guess, to get up on the platform. All right, now we need to set all of these to helium. Okay, let's go back here and pick this up. And move it over to this side. I think for this one, we want to keep that straight, which ideally we do. What we're going to need to do is work from this row and bring this up to here. Let's just put that there momentarily. Oh, no, that isn't going to work. Okay, first thing is let's see if this is level, and then we'll figure out how far out we have to take it. Okay, so based upon this, I think we need to go up at least one notch. So let's grab this and take it down to here. Yeah. And then we'll take this down, grab you, put you here. Now, can we, well, yeah, let's hook this up here and bring it up to there. I don't know if that's going to work or not. We'll test it. Nope. Try that again. There we go. That's still not high enough. You know what though? Let's actually test this angle. Okay, so if that one works, then raising this up another notch will make it work even better. Okay, so let's take let's take you off. Put you back on here again. Turn you this way, but then go up a notch. Now we'll see if that's level. I believe it is. I believe it is. Just make sure we clear it. And we're golden. Ooh, look at that slide. All right. That takes care of that. Now what we want to do is we want to connect this to the bus. And the question now is, do I want to... Ideally, I'd like to coincide it with that support so we're not building one up in the middle. We could, but So we have to either extend this out another one to line up with this, or build this out some more. Why don't we do this? Let's grab a multi-rail and stick it there. Okay. I'm not crazy about that. What would happen if we made this the narrower base version? Got that one a little too high there. Maybe put it here. This could actually come out this, yeah, come out that way. And then bring that over to there. Yeah, I think that works better. Okay, and now what we should be able to do is come over here and let's get rid of these rails. Okay, we'll put those there. And for now, we can just put this on the inside rail. So what we're going to need to do is actually, whoop, go back over here. We're going to need to add, here, we're going to have to take these down. Okay, let's grab a multi-rail here. And that's not going to support that. Can we... Nope. God damn it, we're going to have to put another support there. Alright, well, if that's what we have to do, that's what we have to do. So, we're talking lined up with this one, but over. Here. Oh. Well, I mean, that should work too, I think. Wasn't exactly what I was going to do, but as long as it attaches there, then we're good. And then we want to put a multi-rail here, dropped down one level, and we can't move that one backwards because I think that's at the maximum limit. So we either, let's just set it up like this and see how I feel about it, because it's going to be at a little bit different angle there. The only other option is, well, there's two options. We could move this over yet another one, or we could put just another multi-rail there. I know it's 100% aesthetic here. It's not functional at all. It's fine functionally. Well, I'm just going to go with this for now, and if it bothers me and I lose sleep over it, then I need to go see my therapist. But we'll try it this way, and then I'll change it later if it bothers me too much. Come on. One more over there, dude. And there we go. Okay. And then you come to here. All right. And then you... Oh, right. We're going to have to bring this down now so that it's level. And we could accomplish that, actually, by going over here. Grabbing this. And making sure it's at the same height. Lock it in. Stay in this row here. Oh, okay. Well, you know what? We don't have to stay in that row. We could bump it up to here. Wait a minute. Is it really that low on that? Oh, I guess it is. Okay, then that means we want to actually lock it in on this level. Like that. These things are a little further up here. Now we take one of you, put you there. No, we don't need that. We just need a single rail here. That's going to be here. I very rarely use these, so... In fact, you know what? Let's just use a multi-rail just for a little bit of extra added flexibility. Alright, that should be straight on, and this should hook us up to power. There we go. Oh, except for that it's... What the hell did I do? I don't think we need this extra thingy here. Question now is it going to go that far down, though? Let's see if that's level first. Yes. Yes, it is. Okay. Yep, it'll work. That is level, right? Yeah. Okay. So that gets our power hooked up, and it gets our return to the bus also done. I suppose we could also do this too, right? No reason not to. I don't think that'll cause any loop problems for us. Could even do that. Okay. So that gets Helium powered up and going. Now what we need to do is get a platform going so we can start setting up silicon and glass. So let's get over this way. I'm going to actually run down here and pick up these resources. Okay, guys, we might actually make a few more things here. We can. So if we set a furnace down, I guess we have to go look at it. So, you know, obviously we're going to make glass and synthetic silicon here for sure. But we could also make heat-resistant sheets here. We can make electronics here. And we can make chemicals here. I don't think I have the blueprints for those two things yet. Well, no, I don't, because otherwise we'd see them up here. But I mean, just, you know, in terms of planning, right? And applicators was the other thing that we were going to make here too, because we needed the glass, and that's actually a fabricator item. Right, I think we need glass to research this. That's why that's not unlocked, but we need to just plan for it, because we're making all this stuff at the previous plant. Right. Okay. So I mean, we have a decent amount of space. We could make this into a pretty sizable factory.
Good stuff.
Of course, the thing is I always, well, I don't underestimate, but we always end up using a larger footprint than I think we're going to. So if we want to keep everything in a nice rectangular fashion, maybe what we do is we have the northern end. The thing is I don't want to go super high either, though, right? Just because it's a pain in the ass. What if we... This is the highest point here, so we could start it there. That puts us pretty damn close to the bus. Though, not that that's necessarily going to be a problem, because we could even pull off the bus from this end, at least for some of this. If we go that high, though, then we're going to be dealing with having to set up multiple pillars again. So this here seems to be like the lowest point. If we're just talking about this area here. So if we were to start this right here, let's move over a little bit. Whoops. Oh, speaking of the grenade, you guys told me I could actually open up the vines in the caves with a grenade. I did not know that, so that's something we'll have to check. That's useful information. Okay, so let's just do this. Let's lock this in here, and if we run it to there, we're gonna have a problem here. But that's not necessarily going to be an issue, because if it's just this little corner here that we have to put double pillars down, that's not a big deal, right? So why don't we... that's going to... Okay, so we need to come back this way a little bit too. So if we raise this up to, say, here... I mean, you know what? That's good enough. That's good enough. And then we can get all the way to here, and even there, and even there. Okay, let's get rid of these. So this is the only one that doesn't want to behave. But we just do this. Yeah. Okay. So what does that look like over on this side now? Yeah, let's just assume for now that this is the extreme northwest corner of our platform. Okay. So we're going to need to put one more pillar in there, which we can do. Now let's just run this all the way over to here. And we can go about that far before we run into issues over here. I'd kind of like the platform to be a little, go to the south a little bit more, just so we maximize space usage here. Okay, so what if we key off of this one here? Instead, we still will probably be able to get a single platform for most of... Well, no, because it's going to start dipping down there. So I guess I need to decide, do I want the height to work and lay a whole bunch more double pillars down below, or do I want to not have to fuck with that, but then not have quite as much platform? I need to make that decision. I'll let you know what I decide. Okay guys, I decided to go ahead and go higher with the platform because it's just going to give us more space. But what I'm going to try, and this is a little bit weird for my head just because I'm used to just working on a platform with a grid. But what I'm going to try is see if we can set up our machines without doing a full-blown platform. So my thought is that we pull off of the bus around here-ish and run the feed line.
I'm detecting increased Rupture activity.
Of course you are.
Prepare for a wave.
Run the feed line, you know, along the backside this way, and then have the machines. Let's go ahead. Can we grab a... let's grab a furnace. The idea would be to have the machines, you know, place them down and put, you know, supports underneath them. So something like this. Okay, that kind of an idea. And not, you know, not fill in the entire space. That would save us on a little bit of building materials and a little bit of CPU cycle in the long run. This machine here, though, we would, yeah, I would want, okay, we got the wave warning. We need to go in. That's not the exact position I would put it in. We'd have to, you know, account for expanding to the version 2 machines later and that sort of thing. But that's the idea. So I'm going to toy around with that idea and see how that goes. And then I will bring you guys back after the star rupture. All right, guys, we are back here. Let's go ahead and pull this down. I might just leave those there for the moment. So the first thing is that we're going to need room for a line coming from the helium down this way, as well as the lines coming off of the main bus. If I were to put that there, just to kind of give us a little more of a walkway type of situation. So I think what we could do here is this is gonna go all the way down this way, except for we're not gonna be able to get it locked in after that spot without using some pillars, which is fine. Let's bring that to there. Maybe all the way to there even. Okay, that's as far that way as that's gonna go. And let's get some pillars in here. I think that's where we want that, right? Yeah. Sometimes it's hard to tell. Really couldn't fit one there, huh? I'm gonna try it again, because sometimes it actually does work. You just have to finagle it a little bit. Whoops. Let's go down here. Okay, take this away, and also I just realized that's not correct. And now it's not going to let me select this one. It really does not want to go there, does it? Okay, well, then let's plug that in there. Do that and that. And now it's working. So, I don't know. These sorts of things, when, you know, connecting pillars to the ground in this game is just a trial and error, pain in the ass situation. That's what it is. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it doesn't work, and then all of a sudden it does work, and I don't know. Don't know, man. Okay. Let's also do this. All right, so I want to run down off of here. This is currently lined up with this, but I wanted to leave a border row unless we do even another one, but then we're going to have this little rock issue there. The other thing we could do is, let's get a little closer here, is this, we could move this over to here. It would line up better with that thing. Actually, didn't I have it there before? I don't know. Or we could just not worry about it. And why don't we have an idea. Let's remove this. And let's put rail connector here. And you can come out of there. You can come out of there. We'll put a rail connector here. And run you to there. And then you can come down to there. Okay, good. And that gets that lined up correctly. Now, if we come off of here and drop it down... What if we drop it down to here and then do this? That should work. And then drop it down another one. Actually, let's make this one a multi-rail. The other option is, let's try this. Let's get a multi-rail and let's just put it there and see if this will reach. Yeah, I like that idea better. Okay, and then what we're gonna do is just run this all the way down to here. That's the maximum it'll go. Put another multi-rail there. And then I'm gonna guess that that'll go there. That'll be the end of it, but we'll see. Okay, so that'll feed the helium to the machines. Now we'll use this row here for the main bus. I'm just trying to think how we're gonna do that without colliding with the main bus line. All right, well, that's a future me problem, but it's going to be a very near future me problem. Right, okay. So our first machine, then, should be able to go here. And yeah, we're going to start with glass. I was just thinking about maybe doing the you know, injector thingies, applicators on this end, because that's going to be the only fabricator we'll have here. We still can. Well, the thing is, though, is it's going to need glass to feed into it. So yeah, I guess it does make sense to start with glass. Right. Okay, so if we put this here and just make sure that we leave an additional row here on this side and also in front, because that's the footprint of the tier 2 version of the furnace. However, I really, now that I think about this, I want to actually turn this the other direction, though. Yeah, I got that going the wrong way. Because we want to be able to put multiples and down, you know, going this way. So that yeah, that means we might need to wrap the helium around if we're going to do that. Yeah, okay, so let's do that, and then we'll get rid of this. Grab the furnace, rotate it that way. And then we'll make sure that we leave an extra row here and an extra row here. We're expanding to the tier 2. That's the way, Okay, and then for the supports, let's... Damn it, Jim! We want the supports to go here. And again, you know, we're doing this to expand it, or for future expansion. Let's just remove that momentarily. And then we want you to go there. Like that. And I guess we could and maybe should put one in the center too, just for a little extra support there. Yeah, you know, the more I think about this though, with the spacing and everything, I don't think it's gonna... I think this is still just going to end up being in one solid platform. Because here's the thing, I mean, I'm going to take and put the next one here. Like that. And then, you know, leave space around it for expansion. And then the next one will go here. Because we're going to need a lot of glass. And, you know, this isn't a humongous platform anyway. Okay, so let's fill that in, and this in here. And then just like we did here, we'll put the supports underneath. So starting with it, here we go. And like so. And then we'll put a couple in the center. That's probably more supports than it actually needs, but that's all right. We're just going to do that. Okay, let's do another one. And we might as well... We want to do a fourth one. Because here's the thing, we need room for depots too. We could, you know, we could even do 2 rows of these, but I don't know that we're going to need to necessarily do that, especially when we get the tier 2s. But let's just look at the footprint if we do a fourth one. So that would go there. It doesn't give us a ton of depot room. Okay, so then this is the footprint of the large depots, which we'll probably switch to later, but for now just do that. And I mean, if we have to, you know, we can go out even further. It's just that, well, no, because we're gonna drop down from over there. So, but we do have to return this back to the bus though too. So we have to take that into account. We might be able to get away with this. Yeah. Why don't we... Yeah, we should be able to do that. So that gives us at least six storage units. We'll start with that, and then we'll see how things go. Alright, so let's get these supports in. Oh, did they change things in the update so we can hang off of that? I just realized that. That is a huge help. Is that what's going on here? Oh, look at that. I just now realized that that's what was happening here. Amazing. And then we can just get underneath it and do that. Oh, I love it. Okay, that's a very welcome change, man. Big time. Okay, cool. So yeah. Let's do supports here too. We probably don't need to, but we are going to have, you know, all the conveyor lines here. So okay, this row I won't put supports underneath for now. We'll see how things go. You know, admittedly that is probably overkill too. But when I first started with Season 2, with the first big update, I was having a lot of stability problems. You know, in our first factory that we built way back in the starter area. So that's why, you know, I'm putting so many of those down there. But again, that's probably more than we actually need to do. All right, now let's get... We're going to set you guys to glass. So why don't we could come... We could do another row this way. It's going to butt up against this, but oh well. And I think what we'll do is we'll keep these on the normal level. I'm just trying to decide if I want to hold these back to here and do this. If we do that, though, well, okay. Then when we're coming off the main bus, we'll be using one of these, but dropped down. And so we can either feed this into there and this into here, which I don't really like the look of. Or the throughput won't be quite as good on this other thing, but we take the rail connector for the main bus and we drop it down to here, and then just hook that up into there like so for the calcium powder. Right? That's what we need, is calcium powder. Yeah. Okay, so now, I I don't remember which one of these is the calcium powder. So let me go figure that out real quick. Alright, so calcium powder is on this line here. And it is... looks like I have it set up to go on the outside or right hand or north line. Okay, so north line or right hand line while the rail's running that direction. Alright, let's see if we can do this and that. And then we're going to need to cut these lines here. We're going to need a multi-rail there, a multi-rail there, and... oh, right. I'm going to have to change this one out first. That's a rail connector. But dropped down one notch. And then two multi-rails. Okay. It is this right hand line that needs to go down to here and then back up. Okay, and now this needs to drop down to here. We could... we got bugs. Knock it out, motherfucker. Don't be bugging my machines. Okay, so that's... I mean, that's not too bad, I guess. And actually, this particular line... well, okay, hold on a sec. Yeah, okay, no, this isn't... we need to run off this line and go all the way down that way for inputs. So what that means then is we need this to be a multi-rail. There's a spitter bug down there. Okay.
Reloading.
multi-rail here, and then this, yeah, multi-rail, and then a rail connector here. Dropped down. Do we have more bug issues? Yeah, we sure do. They never learn. I think that'll dissipate. If not, we can disinfect it later. Okay, so yeah, we're gonna need this setup for the other two rails as well, because we're gonna be pulling other stuff off of them. Presumably. And that means we're probably going to need additional supports then. Okay. What I will do then is I will build that out later because I want to get the glass going. So that's the right hand rail, so let's keep that convention going here. Now what I might do is have this be the center. I'll put one on this side and have it be maybe the left rail and this one be the right rail, but I'll fix that later. Okay, you drop down there, you come up here. Okay. Now, you go to there. And then we just set up the rest of our inputs in like fashion. And that should theoretically should start pulling the ceramic powder. We'll see if that is indeed the case. Yeah, so that needs to stay that level. And then this needs to be, god damn it. Gets me every time, the bases of these. It'd be nice if they would have made those so the bases are the same no matter what direction, but they're not. So, okay, turn, wait, what? What the hell just happened? Hold on. Here. Must have hit the wrong button. Yeah, I hit the wrong button. That's what it was. Okay, so yeah, make sure those are turned that way. And then these go down one level. Like so. And then we'll hook all of this up. Oh, there it is. Look at that. Amazing. I'm wondering if I do want to offset this so we have two separate feeds going in. Let's experiment with that idea. So grab another one of these, turn it this way. Can I get under this and up into there? I can. That doesn't look as nice, but it's going to give us better throughput. So, I think I'm going to do that. But those guys are beeping, but I don't... Yeah, I think they're fine, because now they're being pulled. Alright. Yeah, they'll be fine. Now, let's get the outputs going. So we need to leave room for expansion. Okay, and then we set these to glass. All right, so the bus now, we'll just continue down this way to here. And then we'll just run it down to there for now. In fact, I'm not even going to hook all of these up right now. Let's just hook the center one up. And anything that we, run down for the next machines will always be down one level, like it is here. So we're not interfering with the incoming line of helium. All right. I'm not super happy, aesthetically speaking, with this. The only other thing we could... Oh, God. Scared the hell out of me. Where are you at? He already done blowed himself up. The only other thing we could maybe do just to make it more symmetrical is move these over one, so that way they're both kind of curving into the machine like this. Again, it's purely aesthetic, it's not functional. But it certainly isn't necessary. So I don't know. I'll think about that. Okay, and then what we need to do now, of course, is get the glass back on the line. On the bus. And in order to do that, we're going to need to put some pillars in place. And we could just... yeah, I don't think it matters. We'll just feed off of this one here. Oh, except for that's not going to line up, is it? Damn it, Jim. Nothing's ever easy. Well, it is what it is, right? So what we want to do is come over here, and I'm out of reach. And we're going to line up with this pillar here. Lock that in place. And come there. Okay. Let's build this up. Yeah, and it's the right level. Okay, so we're gonna have to cut these lines. This is a multi-rail. Oh. The hell, man? What did you do that for? Well, here, we can just... sorry, I always get multi-rails and rail connectors mixed up. And then you'll go there, and you'll go there. Okay, now, before we totally commit to this, I want to... put a rail connector here. There we go. Okay. So, for now, let's put the glass on. We have other things that we're going to build here that are going to need glass. But for that stuff, I'm probably going to loop it back around and come back over here. Ooh, you know what? We might need to change these to multi-rails and have one coming this way and one going that way. Okay, yeah, well, hold that thought. Because I don't know, I don't know that it makes sense for us to put the glass up here and then come over here and then drop it back down again. Not for this factory. So, nevertheless, let's go ahead and put the glass on the inside rail, or the north or left rail, depending upon how you look at it. Okay, so that gets the glass back on the bus for later on down the road, meaning stuff way down the road, not anything at this factory. So let's look at something here. We're not going to need glass for synthetic silicon. We are going to need it, though, for heat-resistant sheets, which I also want to make here. We could potentially make electronics and chemicals here, but I don't know if we're going to have enough space, because remember, I also need room for applicators, which also need glass. And I think that was the only thing holding us up from researching it was glass. Let's go lay a recipe station down inside of here. And go to fabricator. Yeah, so we just need 200 glass. In fact, I'm sure we already have that. We need a way up here. So I guess what we'll do is... Here, what if we do this? No, not that. This. There we go. Looks kind of cool underneath.
Rupture activity detected. I recommend finding a safe place.
Okay. I lost my train of thought. What were we... Oh, right. We're grabbing 200 glass. 100?
I can use that.
200. Nice. Fabricator and glass and points. There we go. We have learned the applicator, which I believe takes the titanium tubes and glass. Yeah, tubes and glass. Okay. That guy's gonna get his ass roasted here momentarily. All right, ladies and gents, I think we're gonna wrap up the episode here. So what I will do off camera between this episode and the next is I'll get that set up to where we're dropping all 3 of the product onto the line.
We're safe.
And what I think I might do is wrap the glass around coming down this way and make this a multi-rail, so we can have the helium coming this way, but then sending the glass further on down the other way. All right, that is the plan. So thank you everybody for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If you did, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, share the video, and we'll catch you in the next episode. Bye-bye.